At Crown Point Realty, we believe in creating a real estate experience for our clients that is second to none. Educating and preparing our clients for what to expect is the best way to ensure we get you started in the right direction. As committed realtors, we are always on the go and always well caffeinated. We decided why not answer your real estate questions over a cup of coffee at some of our favorite spots. This is Coffee with Crown Point. Hey guys, welcome back to this week of Coffee with Crown Point. I'm Matt Farnham, have Preston with us today.
Hey guys.
Thanks for being with us, Preston. Hey, today we're going to talk about distressed properties. It's not a huge piece of our market anymore. However, it still does make up about 6 or 7% of our market. We get buyers call all the time asking questions about different types of distressed home sales. So when we say distressed, Preston, what are we talking about?
Distress can be of many different things. Typically it's your short sales, your repos, your bank owns, all those good stuff.
So anything that is really not your typical, Susie homeowner next door, flesh and blood seller that you're dealing with. You might be dealing with some type of, corporation, bank, the government if it's a HUD property. And just to clarify, a lot of people have a misunderstanding of a bank-owned home, which is an REO, real estate-owned property, versus short sale or HUD, but in really compared to the foreclosure process. And that's exactly what foreclosure is. It's a process where a home can be in foreclosure for months and months and months, sometimes years we've seen in this city.
Yeah.
But once it's actually owned by the bank and they have gone through the foreclosure process, now it is a REO property, bank-owned property. Maybe it's conveyed to HUD through mortgage insurance. It could be a HUD home. And then a short sale is a property where, maybe I own a property and I owe the bank more money than I can currently sell the home for. So I need to sell it for short of what my payoff is, and I have to get the bank to be okay with that. And that's a negotiation process that can be lengthy and so forth. So when we're talking about pursuing a distressed home, what should our clients be aware of?
Big things to be aware of is disclosures. They're not going to disclose a whole lot because they may not know all the information. So how can they tell us what they don't know? So they're pretty much selling it as is. How you walk in and see it, that's how you're purchasing it. So it's very, very important that you get all the inspections that you need to make sure that that home is up and running properly.
Right. And like Preston said, the banks don't know what they don't know, so a lot of times that's the issue. In short sales, of course, might still have a homeowner in there, but we see a lot of them that have been rented for a long time. Maybe they sat vacant for a while, so even though it's a regular homeowner that has the ability to disclose, they really might not be as connected to that property as you're typically used to. So the disclosure, you do have to take it with a grain of salt and just really make sure you're thorough.
Yeah.
And then utilities is an issue too on some of these homes.
It is a big issue. A lot of the repos and stuff, they are going to turn the utilities off. They're not going to turn them on for you. So you have to actually turn them on for your inspections. Otherwise, you're going to buy a house without knowing how the utilities are. The last thing you want to do is purchase a home, move in, and find out all these things are wrong with the internal aspects of the home that you didn't see.
Right. Due diligence takes on a whole new, thorough meaning there to make sure you really become informed. And even a short sale property where it might have a homeowner there, there's situations where they can't afford to keep utilities on. That's part of the reason why they might be in a hardship situation doing the short sale in the first place. And we do a lot of HUD properties here out of our office, and HUD specifically won't turn on utilities. The buyer has to do it, like you said. So absolutely need to do that. And there's other things aside from just disclosure and their as is and these things, but some other things that aren't as obvious are the contracts. The contracts can be quite a bit different. You got to read them very carefully, but some customary closing costs that maybe you're used to paying, that you're used for the seller paying for you, like owner's title policy, your transfer tax, escrow fees, HOA, some of these things, they'll push it onto the buyer, which we're not used to in our market.
And then other stuff to remember, the banks make the rules on these contracts.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that they require, and if you don't follow what they require, they're not going to sell you the property. So keep that in mind, that you can try to negotiate, but some stuff the bank will not negotiate with you. It's just kind of how it is. That's their rules. You follow it if you really want that property.
And we hate to say it that way because we do, in these situations we probably represent the buyer, but reality is we also want to help you get a home that you're excited about, and sometimes jumping through their hoops and playing by their rules is really how that can happen.
It can be stressful and sometimes aggravating, but that's why you have us. We're gonna make it as smooth and as fun as possible.
And hopefully there's a good deal for you waiting on the end of it, and that's why it makes sense to go through all this. And so we talked about inspections. So Typically we get a home inspection done for a client on a property. Maybe they see some concerns and get some additional inspections done. But, what are different types of inspections that you might want to make sure that you really get on these types of properties?
So you typically see what you have your inspector go in, they see, oh, this is broken, this is wrong. With these properties, you want to go more in depth. You may want to get your plumbing checked out. You want to get the HVAC. You want to get someone to check the air conditioning, the heating, make sure all those not just work, but that they're functioning properly and that the machine itself is not broken.
Right.
The roof is a big one.
Yep.
You want to make sure your roof is solid so that you don't move into that house and find out, I need a new roof.
And the important thing is home inspectors are great, and we always recommend them, but he's not specifically a licensed professional HVAC guy or roof specialist, so getting these a little bit more thorough investigations because these homes probably have not been maintained to the standard that they should have been. And then home warranty is super important too.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get insurance coverage for the stuff in your house. So if something breaks down, you've already paid for the insurance that they're going to come in and cover that. So you don't have all these added on expenses after you've already closed your home.
Right, and that's, insurance obviously is one thing, home warranty, very similar in that sense. But these homes are, if they haven't been regularly maintained, a home is a living, breathing thing. Once you get back in there and you start using things on a regular basis, the dishwasher is now getting used multiple times a week. It's very likely things could go wrong that maybe don't turn up right away to home inspection. So get that home warranty too. And just kind of touch tip of the iceberg, there's rehabilitation financing is a great option on some of these properties. Not going to get into that on this video here, but a lot more information we could get into. But I think to end it really, just work with a professional. Make sure you're working with somebody who is going to thoroughly go through that contract, number one, and make sure you're aware of the things that are different than what you're used to. What closing costs are going to be on your side that you're not used to having, in our customary market. What are different processes for timelines that they require? What are you not going to be provided that you normally would be provided? Is a different type of deed that's going to get recorded? There's all these types of things where you need a licensed professional who does this every day that can walk you through these things to make sure that you're protected. So we'll leave it there probably, and just want to thank Preston for joining us today. Hope you got some value out of this, and we will see you again next week with Coffee with Crown Point.
Take care.
Do you have a question that you'd like to have answered? Feel free to submit a comment below, send us a message, or give us a call, and we will feature it in an upcoming episode.